So the defending option is in the fight option, nested in it, and it's the second option, it's case 2. So if the hero.getSpeed and a random number is greater than the enemy and get the enemy's speed and a random number, then you successfully dodge. Then it checks if he's dead, because I was going to implement taking damage from it, so then you'd have to check here if the enemy took damage from the dodge, have they died from that damage. And if your speed isn't higher than his, you successfully block. So blocking would be the worst of the two options, but you don't take any damage from it, so it's not too bad. You'd want to dodge first because there was a possibility of them taking damage. And then we have the default, which is invalid selection, and then this checks if you've been defeated, then you've been defeated, and then it ends the game. And then this is the quit, which takes in input validation. So you go quit, are you sure you want to quit, yes or no? If it's yes, then you return 1 and you break, else you break and just go back around. So then, and the default selection for the top is just for input validation really, which is invalid selection, try again, which is if you enter anything other than 1 or 2, which is fight or quit. Then I have my utility.cpp, which is it was just gonna contain just excess files, just utility files really, that I couldn't really think of a better place to put. So as a result, like as an example, then login would be a utility file. I haven't managed to implement it properly. I have it here, and when I tried to work it, it just wasn't working. It was something to do with the file IO, but pretty much the way I have it is it's CA3's welcome to the world of Monster Royale. Would you like to log in or create a new account? It takes your choice and goes into a switch statement, and then it just checks here as long as the file is good and the next line isn't the username you're looking for, so the username they entered, then it checks, it just says okay, go to the next one. So just keep moving forward. Otherwise it should be the person you're looking for, because either the file's gone bad, which there's not much you can do about, or it's the username you're looking for. So then you just get line, and that takes in the username, so that should be fine. But then the create is the way you create the new one. So as long as it's not named, you carry on. So then it's pretty much the same. As long as it's not the username that they entered in, you keep looking forward. And then if the file goes bad and it's not the username, then generally the file goes bad if it reaches the end of file. I mean, there's other ways it can go bad as well, but the way I was doing it here was if it reaches the end of file and it still hasn't gotten the username, then that username's okay. So then it changes not named to false because you've been named, and then it just says okay, you've successfully created the account, because that username wouldn't have been in use. So that's just the utility file then. I have other files in it, such as combat file, the combat.h, but it doesn't have anything in it, and item.h. Item.h is just I was going to implement the items, and same with the CPP, I was going to implement it, but I didn't get time. And combat.cpp is the same, going to implement it, but I didn't have time. I was going to just, instead of having that sprawling text here in main app, I was going to put that into combat, and I was going to have other things in the combat, such as the super effective damages and the status ailments and everything. They were going to be in combat, and items were going to be just usable items, and was just going to define the items class. And I should also have a map in as well, but I didn't even get a chance to make the files for that, so I didn't get a chance to implement it either, so I don't have that in. So that's my code anyway for CA3 for data structures. Thank you for your time, John.